Morning, guys and gals. Froggy here. What I'm going to show you today is the installation of rear shocks on a C5 Corvette. And I already got the wheel off and I've got it up on a jack. This is sorry about that, guys and gals. That was the guy who built these shocks for me, and I had a question for him. So sorry for the interruption. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do, and then I'll take some video of each step as I do it. I'm going to take this tie rod end off. I'm just going to drop this nut here, 24 millimeter, and put it out of the way. That lets me get at the shock that's ahead of it a little easier. And also, this does not change my alignment. My alignment is changed up here, not down here, so I can just bolt that back on and not worry about my alignment. Once that's off, I'm going to take this great big bolt off here. That is part of what holds the rear lower control arm and the shock at the same time. It does two things. And then at the very top, I'm going to take this plate off here. There it is. That plate off here. Once I take that off, the shock bolts to the plate. I'll show it to you when I get it apart. Once I take that off, I think I'll be able to drop this whole thing right on there and put that nice looking new shock up on there. Okay? I'll give you some updates as I go along. Okay, you can see I took that nut off. It's got some spaces on top and bottom. This is a bump steer kit. Your car is probably not going to have a bump steer kit, so don't worry about that. But you can see once I disconnect this, I can move that corner a bit. I can take this tie rod end and stick it way up there on top of the sway bar. And now look at all the room I've got to get at this. Got plenty of room, no problem. Okay, now I'm going to take this bolt out. To show you one thing, I put a bottle jack underneath this corner so that I could take some strain off of this, and it just drops off nice and easy. You shouldn't have to force anything. And then you probably want to let this bottle jack off to extend the shock so that the shock will come out easy too. Yeah, I might leave it up right now when I take this bolt out. Okay? I'll show you how I got this nut off. I used my air gun with an extension on it, 24 millimeter there, and then a breaker bar to hold the other side so it doesn't twist. Actually, I don't think it was going to twist anyway. 24 millimeter on both ends. I'll get the torque spec for that. It's over 100 foot-pounds, I think. Put your air gun on the other side, and you should be able to just walk this out till it gets loose. If you need to, adjust your bottle jack up and down to get a little looseness there. Okay, Froggy's working the top now. This is 13 millimeter. I put a universal right next to the socket and then a little extension just to make it easier to turn. And you can see these little guys come out okay. I think the last time I was up here I did put some blue Loctite on there, which is not a bad idea. Okay, I got them both out, and now I'll get my one hand on the camera and one hand on the shock, and as you can see I just moved this rotor wheel bearing assembly. I just call it a corner. I just move this corner in and out a little bit to get the bottom clevis out, and then out she comes, easy peasy. So, and now you can see how the shock is attached to the this mounting bracket on the top. I also have a spherical bearing up there, which you probably don't have, but anyway, not counting the filming and the grabbing the tools and everything, probably 20 minutes to take this out, and probably, you know, the same or a little bit less to put the new one back in. I'll show you what I'm doing. Well, there's the old one next to the new one, and I put a little piece of that bottle jack up there for a reference. So full extension, top to bottom, I would say the PRI is about a ½ inch shorter, give or take a 1/16. So it should be good. Okay, guys and gals, Froggy's back. We ran into a little glitch here, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this shock back in, put this there. This is a spherical bearing that allows the top of the shock to move around a little bit in its mounting. And what I couldn't do is I couldn't get this to work on a new shock because there's a difference in the dimension here. See, but for the purposes of this video, it doesn't really matter because I'm showing you how to take a shock off and put a new shock in. So I'll deal with that another time. Basically, I'm going to put this back together. Now, if your shock probably has a rubber bushing here, I have this other arrangement, but it doesn't really matter. You attach the top of the shock to the plate. Plate goes up there to that upper mount. Bottom of the shock attaches where we showed you already before, and use the bottle jack to go up and down a little bit as you need it. The last thing is this tie rod end right there and there. Okay, so I'm going to put that all back together. If I feel it's worthwhile, I'll shoot you another video of what I'm doing, but otherwise it's pretty much the reverse of what I did to take it off. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'll show you this one thing here. The reason for this spherical bearing at the top here is so that the shock can move around. Now, I'm moving the bracket, but just imagine the shock's moving. I'm doing that because that's all I can do and shoot the picture at the same time. So you see, it allows the top of the shock to move around in a lot of different directions. Now, if it was clamped in a rubber bushing, it would be binding more than what you're seeing right now. So there, I just wanted to show you that. Okay, well, Froggy's done. It's all back together, and I'm going to work with my vendors about doing something a little bit different with JRI shocks. So if this helps you out, give me a thumbs up. If you want more from Froggy, subscribe to my channel. It's free. See you later, guys and gals. Froggy out. Bye-bye.